Hey guys, Angry Beast here, bringing you some domination gameplay on the map Carbon. I'm using the M60 here with the foregrip and I believe the kick proficiency because I had nothing else unlocked. And recently, Infinity Ward has decided to buff the LMGs, and that has made them pretty much amazing. I don't know how else to put it, but these things can now kill in 3 hits at all ranges, and the M60 can kill in 2 hits up close and 3 hits at a distance. And I think it may even have a one-shot headshot up close. So that's really, really good. I mean, I've absolutely fallen in love with this gun. It reminds me a lot of the Black Ops M60 now, and that's a good thing. I mean, the M60 and Black Ops had that unique feel to it. But one thing that they have changed with the LMGs that I'm not a fan of is they've decreased their movement speed. Before, they were 87.5% move speed, which was pretty slow, and now they've reduced it to 80% move speed, which makes it even slower than that. And that's your major disadvantage when using this weapon. Yes, it's powerful across all ranges, and it has a good amount of recoil, but that's not what makes this a bad weapon in most people's opinions. It's that slow movement speed, and because it takes like weapon level 22 or something to unlock that speed proficiency to speed it up, it can take a really long time to make this thing even close to what the assault rifles look like or feel like. Now, my equipment in this game is the Claymore and the motion sensor. I throw that on the motion sensor once or twice, but I don't do anything with the Claymore. And I try to play the objective in this game. If you're using a light machine gun, that's what they are meant for. They're meant for holding down and placing interdiction over an objective. They're not meant for a Slayer role, really. I mean, you put them down an objective point, and you just stay there and you kill them as they come to you. They're definitely a defensive weapon, not something I'd recommend for rushing at all. The host migrates here, luckily it succeeds, and I'm back into the game. The one thing I can say about the new M60 versus the old M60, because I had used the old M60 in my previous Prestige quite a bit, is that it's very consistent now. I can rely upon this M60 to be a 3-hit kill at any range, and I can rely on it to be bam, 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 you're dead. Rather than shooting up to 4 bullets at 600 rounds per minute, I can be reliant upon a 3-hit kill at all ranges, and that makes it very lethal up close and at a distance, because if you put a kick and a grip on it, its recoil isn't too bad and it's easily manageable, and its recoil is one of the most defining traits of the M60 in my opinion. If the M60 didn't have the recoil it did, it would not be the M60. Now, unfortunately, this gameplay is really short for domination. My teammates like to triple cap this entire game, and I have a couple fails with the kill streaks you'll see in a little bit. So that lead to this being a rather low-scoring game, but for the light machine guns, this is how they're meant to be played, playing the objective like a boss, and that's basically what I decided to do this entire game. Now, my perks in this game, I believe, are Sleight of Hand, Quick Draw, and Marksman. Sleight of Hand is obvious when using a light machine gun. You want to be able to reload faster, and usually that's not too big of a deal, but considering the flak jacket is pretty much like a blast shield, blast shield is not the same tier as Sleight of Hand, you don't really give up anything by running Sleight of Hand your first year perk slot, because you're not going to gain much from Blind Die if you're not using a Stinger Missile, and you're not going to gain much from Recon unless you're using flashbangs and stuff. So I don't know, I mean, you could make a case for extreme conditioning or something like that, but when you're using an MP9 with a secondary, you get that by default, so I didn't see much reason. A couple of my teammates really go to work with the kill streaks in this game, though, so they didn't leave too many kills for me sitting back and playing the objective. Quick draw is pretty much necessary on the light machine guns, in my opinion, because their rate of fire and aim on sight is already super slow compared to everything else in the game. It seems like that you're needed to have that to even be on par with something like the assault rifles at a medium range engagement, or even a close range engagement with a submachine gun. So if you use what is that? Quick draw, you can have a chance in those close quarter gun fights, and in situations like that, that's where the light machine guns are going to fail. If you're up against a wall trying to go prone, you're not going to be able to turn it off, and that's one of the things I wish they fixed. I mean, I hate being up against a wall playing defensive using a head glitch with light machine gun and not being able to turn around at all. Because I'm already moving so slow, there's no reason for me to move around the map, and if I try to play defensively, I'm punished for it when I try to move to kill the people who flank behind me. But there isn't much you can do in that situation other than maybe play off the wall a little bit, but Marksman is the other perk I'm using in this. I mean, I tried using Stalker with the light machine guns, and I honestly didn't care for it. I felt like that took away from what they were needed to use. I tried to rush with them, and that's generally not a good idea. Rushing with a light machine gun is suicide. You're not going to have the advantage in close quarters as you have when using a submachine gun or whatever. And I pick up a one-shot headshot there. I'm not sure if that's a feature of this gun now since they patched it, or if it's just he was already wounded or whatnot. And I absolutely failed by killing myself, thinking, well, there's probably someone with blind eye around me. And it seemed like everybody in this game was running the blind eye class, and that It's really frustrating when it happens because, especially when you're using a difficult to use weapon like the M60, it can be hard to build up your kill streaks. And when you finally do build up your kill streaks, it feels like you're not rewarded for it. My kill streaks in this game are the Predator missile, the attack helicopter, and the Reaper. I think I only built up the Predator missile twice and nothing else past that. Because the second time I do actually get a kill with my Predator missile, then I'm snuck up on a guy with blind eye. One of the things that I was worried about coming into Modern Warfare 3 would be the prevalence of blind eye and assassin. After the predicament with Ghost and Black Ops, it seems like people use blind eye more than any other first-year perk in the game, at least in the lobbies that I'm thrown into. A lot of people say sleight of hand is more used, but in my opinion, I find there's more blind eye than anything else in the entire game. And I find that odd because blind eye doesn't give you an advantage in gunfights like sleight of hand does, or even Scavenger does. Basically, when you're using blind eye, you're admitting to the fact that you're a bad player because you're giving up kill streaks, which means you're not able to kill the other team. Because there aren't any lethal kill streaks that blind eye would protect you from really in the support package, I don't understand why there's so much blind eye in the game, especially used by the major commentators and such. I see Wings of Redemption running it quite a bit, and it confuses me. It really does. I can understand running Assassin because you got the UAV and the counter UAV and the EMP all in support, and those constantly get called in. So I understand Assassin as being a very well used perk, but I really don't understand Blind Eye. Other than the people who are really bad at the game, it just doesn't make sense to me. Yes, I suppose in team-based games, you're playing off your teammates being bad, you're expecting them to be bad, but I don't know, it just doesn't make too much sense to me. So, the LMGs in this game are definitely meant to be used defensively, and when you try to rush with them, you're not going to be successful, so pick up a nice triple spray. Got perfect accuracy there, yeah! But that's what they're good for. I mean, you pull up to a spot, and of course, I get spawned on by a guy running blind eye, an assassin, but if you use them in a situation like that, where you're behind cover, you have something between you and your target, you can pretty effectively use them because they already have high penetration, and if you have just a little bit of line of sight on a target, you can be confident that your bullets will hit now with the patch, and especially if you're using blind eye, kick and grip, you can be confident your bullets are hit because the patch also reduced the recoil of all the light machine guns, especially the L86, which in my opinion didn't need too much of a buff because with thermal now it's even better than it was before. But you know, it's Infinity Ward. Who can understand the mind of the developers there? So this map is one of my favorite maps, but oddly enough, I don't get to play it much. I don't know what it is. This map doesn't pop up too much in the rotation for me. I don't play much Ground War because I know it's not in Ground War. But even in a 6v6 Dom setup, I do not find this map often. I really wish that this was a more frequent map. Like, maybe if it replaced Bakara, which is one of my least favorite maps, that'd be awesome. Because I feel like this map is a little bit more fast-paced, and it's good for a defensive role, as well as aggressive roles. I mean, you can pretty easily defend the B flag on it, and it works pretty well, in my opinion. It's very well balanced and flowed. Although this side does have a little bit of advantage with this high glitch here, the other side does have the height advantage. So it's a trade-off, but I just wish this map popped up more often. But this gameplay is winding down. I get my second kill streak there, kill one guy, and get snuck up on by that one Scratchers person or whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This ends up being a 24-9 with the M60. Not the best gameplay, but I was playing the objective, defending flags like a boss. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Angry Beast, and I am signing out.